Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So today we're going to talk about two questions that I've gotten from opposite ends of the political spectrum, but they're the same question at the end of the day. Boils down to why. Why is this happening? We know that it is happening, but why is it happening? Before we start, quick recap. We've talked about it in depth on this channel before, but for those who missed it, in the U.S., our normal spectrum of political debate is so far to the right that even those who we call left in the U.S., the Democrats, are center-right anywhere else in the world. We're that far to the right in the U.S. We don't have a lot of real leftists in politics today. It's a gross oversimplification, but for the purposes and context of today, you can define leftism as rejecting capitalism. That's where it starts. That's where the line is between left and right. So, we now have large numbers of people who are willing to do that in the U.S. And specifically, we have a lot of black folk who are now leftists. Okay? Now, a white leftist sent me a message. It was like, I have met more black leftists in the last 6 months than I have in my entire life. What is going on? Now, to him, this is exciting news, but he doesn't know why it's happening. Right-wing question, why are all of them becoming Marxist, Communist, Leninist, Socialist, whatever-ist that they want to assign to them? And by them, of course, black Americans. So now they're doubly scary. Not just are they black, they're this scary left-wing ideology that he doesn't understand. But again, it's why. First thing I want to point out is that black leftism has a long history in this country. A lot of the movements that get associated with black America as far as the civil rights period, they were leftists. But why is it happening now? Why is there this surge? You have to ask them to get a solid answer. But outside observer here, right-wing talking points about race. The right-wing trolls that talk about race, that's what has greatly contributed to that move, to move them left past Democrats into actual leftist territory. Think about it. Let's say white privilege. What is the number one response from a white person who wants to turn down the volume on that message? I work 40 hours a week and I'm still dirt floor poor. Proof. White privilege doesn't exist. Checkmate. The black person that hears this does not suddenly go, well, white dude's poor. I must have imagined everything I've ever experienced in my entire life. They have a different realization. They think more along the lines of, so you work 40 hours a week, you're still dirt floor poor, and you're okay with that? So we have a race issue and a class issue in the United States. So then they start looking for egalitarian philosophies, which move them left. No gender, race, or class. That's how a lot of them end up there. They're already looking for deep systemic change to address issues that impact them daily. When you're talking about, well, we got to change law enforcement, the entire criminal justice system, the way we vote, banking, all of this stuff that negatively impacts us, changing the economic system isn't really a lot to add. In the grand scheme of things, it is what it is. At the end of the day, you're seeing more black leftists because they hear stuff like that and they're willing to do the fighting for white folk. I guess they believe all lives matter. I think that's where it's coming from. And then the surge in white leftists and all of these other groups, I actually think it has a lot to do with the same thing. The talking points on healthcare. Well, you should just work more. I was working 40 hours a week. I got sick. Now I can't afford my insulin. Well, you just need to work more. Ties to the economic system. So they reject capitalism. They move left. Environmentalist, the person who just wanted you to recycle. Well, no, we need to save the economy. That's why we have to do this. That's why we need to do all this environmental degradation. Well, if it's the earth or capitalism that has to go, capitalism is the one that has to go for them, and they move left. This is especially true about the form of capitalism we have in the United States. People want black Americans to turn to capitalism to lift them out of poverty. Why would they do that when every example that they're given from white Americans proves that capitalism hasn't done anything for them? Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.